All right, so you've been doing some digging, it
I'll
seems,
check it. Yeah.
into all things Nepali cardamom. You've got the articles, you've done your research. Maybe you've even got uh, some firsthand accounts.
Definitely seems like you're looking for more than just like a surface level understanding.
You're really trying to go deep here, and you've stumbled onto a pretty fascinating topic, especially
Yeah.
if you've been following the price trends
Oh,
recently.
definitely intriguing. Yeah, for sure.
Intriguing. I think that might even be an understatement. Imagine you're a chef, let's say, and suddenly the spice that kind of makes your signature dish,
Right.
it's cardamom infused, and that cost has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking record highs here.
Uh-huh.
A man that's 40 kilograms of cardamom is now going for over 110,000 Nepali rupees,
Wow.
over 800 US dollars. We have to go all the way back to 2012 to even see anything
Right.
close to this level. Pretty wild.
Yeah, it's fascinating because it's not just a simple case of inflation. I mean, there's so many
Uh,
different factors at play here, supply chain issues, obviously, and we've got climate change impacting harvests.
right.
And, there's even speculation happening on the international market. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, so let's unpack some of that, what's happening on the ground in Nepal
Sure.
that's impacting the supply of this cardamom.
Well, Nepali cardamom production actually took a hit this year. It decreased by about 25 to 30%, and that's really mostly because of drought and disease. We're seeing a lot of fungal diseases.
Okay.
And one of the main culprits is this thing called chirk, and it's been really bad in some areas.
So you've got these farmers who are out there, they're tending to these delicate plants, putting in all this work, and then bam, drought hits.
Right.
The disease wipes out a huge chunk of their harvest. That's got to be incredibly frustrating.
It's definitely highlighting just how vulnerable these agricultural systems are, especially now that we're seeing the changing climate and these unpredictable weather patterns. It's a huge challenge for farmers everywhere.
Yeah. And this decrease in production that's happening at the same time, global demand for Nepali cardamom
Exactly.
is going up.
Exactly. There's a huge appetite for it, particularly in India and Bangladesh,
Okay.
where it's highly prized for its really unique flavor and aroma. It's actually got like a much larger pod size and a much more intense aroma than other varieties.
So it's not just any cardamom, it's the Nepali cardamom everyone's after.
It's the Nepali cardamom.
And then on top of that, we have India, which is typically the world's biggest cardamom producer.
Exactly.
They've been having their own issues lately.
They have, yeah.
So the usual cardamom king is struggling,
Yeah.
which leaves this huge gap in the market.
Definitely does. And Nepal is really stepping up to fill it.
Wow.
But since they have such limited supply and this really high demand,
Right.
the prices just keep going up.
It's skyrocketing. And then it gets even more interesting because now you have these Indian traders who are buying up that Nepali cardamom
Right.
and then reselling it,
Yep.
often at a premium in Bangladesh. It's like they found this cardamom gold mine.
Yeah. And it really shows how interconnected that global spice market is. You can't just look at what's going on in Nepal. You have
Yeah.
to look at the whole region and how it's impacting everything.
Yeah, it's definitely not an isolated thing at all. Now, let's switch gears for a minute. We've been talking about the economics.
Yeah,
It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet.
absolutely.
This price surge actually has a very real world impact on the lives of those Nepali farmers.
For sure. It's definitely important to remember that cardamom cultivation is a huge source of income for rural communities.
Yeah, I was just looking at some data from the Tabaljung district. It was fascinating. Farmers there cultivated over 4,200 hectares of cardamom this year,
Wow.
and they produced close to 3,000 metric tons. That's a lot of cardamom.
That's a huge amount. And this is a major part of their livelihood. And these high prices could really make a difference in their lives. It could mean better education for their kids,
Yeah,
improving their homes, or just having some more financial security in general.
it's a real ray of hope, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I have to wonder, with any sudden windfall, can it last?
Yeah.
Is it sustainable?
That is the million-dollar question. It is a big question, I think, while it's good for the farmers in the short term,
Right.
You have to wonder about that long-term sustainability.
Yeah, what could threaten the stability of this boom?
Well, we already talked a little about the disease and the climate change, but let's go a little deeper.
Okay.
Chirk disease spreads so fast through the plantations,
Right.
and it can wipe out entire crops
Wow.
if it's not managed properly.
That's a huge problem.
Yeah, there's research being done to try to develop these disease-resistant varieties, but it's
Okay.
a constant battle.
So it's not just about reacting to these outbreaks.
Exactly.
It's about trying to get ahead of it,
Right.
find the solutions to protect these crops long term.
Exactly. And then on top of that, you've got the climate change.
Right.
We're seeing these droughts more and more often in Nepal,
Yeah.
and they're getting worse,
Uh-huh.
which puts a lot of stress on the cardamom plants
Right.
and makes them even more susceptible to disease.
Like a double whammy.
Yeah,
Drought weakens them, makes them easier targets for things like chirk.
exactly. And then too much rain is also a problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you get root rot and all kinds of other issues.
Wow. So it's really,
It's all about that balance, And
yeah,
it's getting thrown off.
yeah. These farmers are walking a tightrope, it seems like.
Mm.
Are there strategies to help them adapt to these changing conditions?
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on sustainable farming practices.
Okay.
Things like organic fertilizers and water
All
conservation,
right.
planting shade trees to protect the plants from extreme temperatures.
So working with nature, not against it, are there examples of these practices in action?
Yeah, actually, there's a big movement towards agroforestry where they grow cardamom along with other tree species,
Interesting.
which helps create a stronger ecosystem, improve the soil,
Wow.
and can even give the farmers more income.
That's fantastic. So it's good for the environment and good for the farmers.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
I love that. And what about research into things like early warning systems
Definitely, they're doing a lot of research on that.
for disease outbreaks?
Yeah, they're trying to use data and weather forecasting to predict where and when chirk might hit,
Wow.
so farmers can take steps to prevent it.
So it's like having a crystal ball for cardamom disease.
Kind of, yeah, using technology to help the farmers.
That's amazing. So we've talked a lot about the challenges, but what about the opportunities?
Sure.
Could Nepal become a major player in the global cardamom market?
I think they absolutely could.
Huh?
Despite all the challenges, they have some real advantages.
Like what?
Well, first, their cardamom is known for being really high quality,
Right.
which is why it sells for such a high price. It just has this amazing flavor and aroma.
So they've got a product that people want.
Yeah, and the demand is only going to grow.
Really?
Yeah, they're expecting global demand for cardamom to keep increasing over the next few years.
Oh, what's driving that?
A few things. The increasing popularity of different ethnic cuisines,
Okay.
more people realizing the health benefits of cardamom,
Uh-huh.
and it's even being used in cosmetics and perfumes.
Wow. So they're riding this wave of increasing demand. It sounds like a great opportunity for Nepal.
Yeah, if they can capitalize on it.
What needs to happen for them to really take advantage of this moment?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to keep focusing on sustainability.
Okay.
If they can become known for producing high-quality, sustainable cardamom,
Right.
they'll have a real edge.
So keep doing what they're doing with those sustainable farming practices
Exactly. And they also need to invest in research and development.
to combat the disease.
Yeah, and to improve their yields, not just producing more, but producing better.
Producing smarter.
Right. And then there's the issue of market access.
Okay.
Right now, they really depend on India and Bangladesh.
Which can be unpredictable.
Right. The prices go up and down, so they need to diversify.
Find new markets.
Yeah, there's growing demand in Europe, the Middle East, North America.
So go beyond the traditional buyers.
Exactly. And finally, they need to make sure the farmers benefit from this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can't forget about the farmers.
For sure, we need to make sure they're getting fair prices
Right.
and have the support they need to make decisions about their livelihoods.
It needs to be a win-win for everyone.
Exactly, from the farmers to the consumers.
That's a story I can get behind for sure. Wow. It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, for sure.
From those fields in Nepal all the way to the global spice market.
Yeah.
We've really seen how complex this world of cardamom is.
And fascinating, for sure.
And I think we've only scratched the surface.
I think so, too. Yeah,
There's just so many layers and it's always changing.
definitely.
Which makes me think about something we haven't really talked about yet, the role of technology.
Yeah.
What kind of potential do you see for technology to help those Nepali farmers and address some of the challenges that they're facing?
That's a really good question, and I think we're already seeing some pretty exciting developments.
Okay.
One of the most promising things is precision agriculture,
Okay.
using things like sensors and drones and data analytics
Uh-huh.
to help farmers understand their crops and what they need.
So instead of relying on the traditional methods, they can actually get these insights
Yeah.
in real time about soil moisture, the
Exactly.
nutrient levels,
Yeah.
even early signs of disease.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And then they can use that information to make better decisions
Okay.
about irrigation, fertilization, pest control.
Wow.
It could lead to higher yields, and it's better for the environment.
So it's like giving those farmers this high-tech toolkit to
Exactly.
manage their crops more efficiently.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. And I imagine there's potential for mobile technology as well
Yeah,
to get those farmers the information they need.
totally. Imagine like an app that gives them real-time weather forecasts, market prices, even advice on how to deal with pests or diseases.
Wow. So it's like having an agricultural advisor right there in your pocket.
Exactly. And especially for those farmers in remote areas
Right.
who might not be able to get that kind of support easily.
This could be huge.
Yeah, definitely. And then you can even use technology to connect the farmers directly with buyers,
Interesting.
cut out the middleman,
Well,
and make sure that they're getting a fair price for their crops.
so it's not just about production, it's about empowering them in that value chain.
Exactly, giving them more control.
I love that it's really exciting to think about all these possibilities. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Nepali cardamom,
Right.
what would you say is like the one key takeaway you want to leave with our listeners today?
I think the biggest thing to remember is this isn't just about a spice, it's about people.
Yeah.
It's about those Nepali farmers and how resilient they are, even though they're facing all these challenges.
Yeah.
They're still producing this amazing product that people all over the world love. It's a good reminder that our choices as consumers matter.
Yeah.
Even in a globalized world, we can impact the lives of the people
Yeah.
who grow our food.
That's a really powerful message.
Yeah.
It really shows how important it is to make good choices, ethical choices.
Yeah.
So the next time you have cardamom in a dish or a cup of tea or even a candle, just think about everything that went into it.
Yeah. Think about that journey.
And think about the people behind it and how we can all work together to create a better future for them.
Definitely a more sustainable future.
So well said. Well, that's it for our cardamom adventure.
It's been fun.
It has been. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive, and we hope you'll keep exploring
Yeah, keep learning.
the fascinating world of spices and the people who bring them to us.
It's a delicious world.
It really is.